Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wellbeing Podcast. I will be your solo host tonight, Scott Frost. And my first solo show. So there has been doing a few quick ones for you, but thought I would get on the mic and share a little bit about some training stuff and just also get to experience some different things with y'all and just kind of have a little chat with the babies. So tonight we're going to talk a lot about smashing, which is what I refer to. It's a term I picked up from Kelly Starrett, which oftentimes you hear the terms foam rolling or self-massage or self-myofascial release if you go with the really technical term, SMR. But really, I tended to start to use the word smash because there's really no confusing what a smash is. I mean, you can roll something gently, but you can't really smash gently. It really gets to the heart of the purpose, which is to dig deep into the tissue to release it. But tonight, I'd like to give you a little bit of background on this type of work, a little history, some practical stuff, a little bit of science, not too much, but just kind of translation of what this means for you. And I kind of wanted to start to do these solo shows to educate everybody as we move forward, and not just terminology, but have a resource to learn something valuable about how to take what's on a podcast and apply it to your training because it's not always easy to take words and put them into training. And so yeah, that's a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight. Um, it's it's definitely a different experience being on the mic alone, and I'm excited to see how this goes tonight. So I hope everyone sticks with me. Grab your LaCroix. I got tea tonight. I got berry LaCroix on my right, and I got some rooibos chai on my left. Oddly enough, chai in Hindi just means tea. So then you hear everybody say chai tea, that really just means tea. Um, so don't let it fool you. It's not anything special. It's just a rooibos tea. Another funny one I like is the term je ne sais quoi, which in French just means I don't know what. So if you hear anybody say, it's a little bit of that je ne sais quoi, they really are just saying to you, it's really a little bit of that I don't know what. Um, so that's just a little something that at least makes me chuckle. Um, but I've had let me just kind of check in with you. I've had a weird, very interesting, but exciting and also sad weekend. Um, Lauren and I, Friday night, I was actually out in the garage lab and I was training. She gives me a call and says that there's this puppy that is literally following her as on this walk she had taken, and she had been taking different directions and everything. And she continued to follow her for 20 minutes, and she says, I'm going to come by the garage because I don't want to lead him to the house. And my first response was, we're not keeping him. And it's our life is crazy. We're all over. We're never in the house. We just can't take it on. That was my initial response. But I also wanted to protect myself because I'm someone who I knew if a puppy came into my life, I would never let it go. And sure enough, she comes by the garage and he's still following her and he's like rubbing up almost against her. And he runs into the garage and flops himself right in my lap. And I fell in love with him right away. And named him, and we just fell in love almost too quickly. And the weekend, he was just so starving. He'd definitely been abandoned, or maybe he ran away. I'm not really sure, but I hope he wasn't abandoned. I hope he just had gotten away from his owner, had run away. But and he just was in such a bad condition. And we took him in, and we took care of him all weekend, and we fed him a high quality food. We fed him what we need. We fed him some ground grass fed beef and some pasture raised Alright, I don't really know what happened there. I got kicked off for a second by Spreaker here. I hope I got everybody back, and so let's just we'll continue where I left off. But yeah, we fed them some really high quality meats and some just a little bit of grain, just some high just organic brown rice with some um, just to give them a little bit of a binding effect. And I actually had gotten some venison, some fresh killed venison from one of my athletes, Chewy, and I made him a nice deer bone, and thing was hard as rock, but he sucked all the marrow out. He was just enjoying himself, and but we decided that we would be good. So we took him to we checked. First of all, we called the police, checked all the reports. We called the shelters. We went through all the databases and all the online databases of missing pets, and I thought like he was a chocolate lab, and I named him Penlay after actually my Penlay bars, my Olympic lifting bar, which is the first most meaningful thing I had gotten in my garage was a legit weightlifting bar. And Lauren just liked the name, and so we named him that. And on Tuesday, I think, we decided to just, nothing had been turned up, but a buddy of mine, Alex, who's has trained his own dogs, said that they actually implant chips, and so we took him and checked their chip, and sure enough, he had a mark, so they kept him over at the Austin Animal Shelter until they sorted it out. And I've been missing him like crazy the past couple of days. And it's the right thing to do, to return him to the people who possibly are missing him. He's just such an amazing, beautiful, kind dog. And he's a young puppy. He was probably only a few months. They said he was like 3.5 months, but it turns out he was probably around 5 or 6. But it doesn't matter. He was very young. But so just coming to you this evening after having a very down couple of days. I don't know if anybody's had this experience of rescuing a dog and then feeling like so attached, and then having to give them up or to move on. But it's been an interesting and kind of sad 2 days. So I kind of wanted to get on and just be with this the Wellness Nation, and talk about how to be well, and talk about some real training stuff, but also just kind of commiserate with you, share with my heart. If you have any questions for me tonight, please tweet me at Coach Scott Frost. I changed my Instagram name to Coach Scott Frost just to make everything match. Friend me on Facebook, like the page, so you can get updates. I post tons of videos on training videos and tips and insights into training. But anyway, let's get on to the topic for tonight. And so when we're talking about tissue work, really we're talking about the system that's really regarding the soft tissues. So that includes the muscle tissue and all of the connective tissue that surrounds and fills it. And this is a fancy name. They call it fascia, but really it's like an overarching category. If you study anatomy, I had the privilege to spend a year in a human cadaver lab doing studying human anatomy intensely, and doing dissections, and it was probably one of the most significant experiences in my training, teaching, learning experience. And then I actually went on to while I'm finishing up my graduate work right now, but for 2 years while in grad school, I taught undergraduate anatomy in a lab, and so this is really a part of what I love is anatomy, but the different surrounding casings that go around the different layers of the muscle, whether it's the overall muscle or the little bundles inside, or the single fibers down, that's filled with this tissue called fascia. And fascia provides this a lubricating surface, a sliding surface, if you will, for which the muscles to slide along. And it can either be a very viscous, sliding, conductive surface, or it can be very sticky. And the two ways in which you can create a very healthy tissue is through hydration to keep it very lubricated, and movement. And these things should keep a healthy tissue. That's why movement through a lifetime is so important. Um, but also hydration. And I think that they really need to go hand in hand if you're going to be someone who's not stiff and bound up over many years. But one of the things we can do to get in there and help assist this process to break it up and to increase the sliding and to kind of work the sort of the kinks out of the fascia is through these different massage techniques. And really all of these things you see on my videos, lacrosse balls, double lacrosse balls, softballs, double softballs, twirling batons. I mean, there's a whole host, PVC pipes. Um, you can get on and on with things you can use to smash yourself with. Spoons, gorgeous spoons. Um, it's just not ending. But these things are really proxies for all the really good fascial release work, which has been done for in some cases, hundreds of years, possibly even thousands back into the yoga community, the early yogic communities in Eastern medicine, acupuncture and massage. And recently, I say recently, like the Soviet Union was recently, but back when the Soviet sports programs were really prominent, they developed many ways of different massage techniques and deeper fascial work, and that really became the foundation for the sports application. On the other side of that, you have Rolfing, and Rolfing comes from the tradition of a woman named Ida Rolf, who was very much in touch with the human physiology and on how to align these different connective tissue lines, because they run in these long twisting lines throughout the body, such that you can make a change by twisting, going into a kneeling hip flexor stretch and twisting your palm back, and you can feel it reach all the way down to the back of your toe because you're actually manipulating and twisting the fascial line. And I describe Rolfing as sort of a muscular chiropractor. They will be able to dig deep and to push and pull and separate and realign the muscles into the right place by working through that fascia. It's very slow, very deep, and can be very painful, but it's very effective. And I worked with a Rolfer while I was a professional ballet dancer during my dance career and up in Philadelphia. And his name was Bill Harvey. He's actually over in Manioc, which is right outside of Philadelphia. And if you're up in that area, there's absolutely no one. I've worked with a bunch of Rolfers. I can possibly, even down in Austin, New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, and there's no one I can